Oh, why hello there. Welcome to sleepcore. Might I ask what your name is? Oh, that's a lovely name. Well, it's nice to meet you. We haven't had any new players in a while, so let's get you started. I have a couple of beginner items with me, and I'm going to give you, don't tell anybody, but I'm going to give you a special merchant's discount of free. Free. Well, let's get you started, shall we? First things first. Nightlights. Nightlights are very important in sleepcore. Very important to have a nightlight with you at all times. It can get pretty dark here, especially with all the nightmares running rampant lately. We haven't had a lot of players, so it's kind of gotten a bit infested with nightmares. Yeah, they're pretty much everywhere, so you are gonna need something to protect yourself. Well, this light right here I have is a cat burger. Just as it is delicious, it is adorable. Now, I don't suggest you actually eat this. It's probably not a very good source of nutrition, but it is a bit of a dim light, although it is very good for XP farming. Here in Sleepcore, you can break pretty much almost anything, and those items like bushes, trees, grass, flowers will drop XP. Although it may not be a lot, this cat burger here will pick all of it up. You just have to walk sort of close to it. Yeah, it will pick anything up within a pretty decent vicinity, so it can't be like all the way across the map. It won't pick up XP all the way over there. Yeah, but it is very, very good to have. For our second nightlight, I have here with me some gumdrop lights. Now these guys are really fun. They can be quite annoying because they do have an initial party effect that will last for 10 seconds. I can give you a little preview of what that's like, but it gets a little crazy. But it does have benefits while the party effect is active. Such as the hyper effect. The hyper effect will give you a ton of speed, so you can move around really quickly, and also your weapon speed will be accelerated by a substantial amount. If you can handle the party effect, this is a pretty good item to have while exploring. So, which nightlight would you like to choose? The cat burger or the gumdrop lights? Alrighty, I'll just set these aside for you. Let's get you some accessories. Now, these don't really have anything that special other than just looking for aesthetics. The first one I have here with me is this adorable little donut hair clip. You could put your hair up with style. These cute little rainbow sprinkles adds a little bit of flair to your character. Now, for the second accessory I have here, it is a cute, fluffy pink scrunchie. It's also nice for putting up your hair, and you can do many styles with it. So it has a lot of hairstyle options, as well as looks very cute. You can also change the colors of it if you would like, but it is a very cute scrunchie. Which accessory would you like to choose? The lovely sprinkled donut hair clip, or the fluffy pink scrunchie? Wonderful. Alrighty, I'll put these to the side. Now, as I mentioned before, we do have a little bit of a nightmare infestation problem, so you are going to need to protect yourself. I have here with me a couple of basic starter weapons for you to use. The first weapon I have here is a very handy golden crescent moon sword. This sword is a very good beginner item. It's very decent with speed as well as damage. It's pretty balanced. So it's a very, very wonderful, easy to use beginner item. It has 3 different attacks. You can perform a heavy spinning attack or 2 swift light attacks. It doesn't really have any special abilities, as it is just a pretty basic weapon. That is our golden crescent moon sword. The next weapon I have here is our Moony Boomy. This guy is very interesting. It is a very, very swift item, but its damage is just a little bit less than the golden crescent moon. This guy works like a boomerang, but does break into 3 different parts. It can be a bit sporadic, but its swift return speed makes it very useful in battle. Also has the ability to mend crystals into the weapon, so it can have special abilities like poison, decay, slowness. It is a very useful weapon. And that was our Moony Boomy. For our third weapon, we have the little bit more complicated item to use, the Sleepy Recorder. This item is very good for anybody who's looking for a bit of a challenge. This item can be pretty fun as it is annoying. Let's start with its abilities. You can choose to blow an enemy's ears out or ascend an enemy with a lovely tune to the dream realm. Each ability works a bit different than the other, but let's start with the blowing out of the ears. This ability stuns enemies for 2 seconds while also dealing 250 damage. It also has a cooldown of 150 seconds. It's a very good ability to use when overwhelmed by multiple enemies at a time. Its second ability is called Ascend. Ascending sort of works half of the time. Depending on your luck, you will be able to ascend an enemy or enemies to the dream realm, while the other half may not have made it. You unfortunately will not be able to move throughout the duration of this ability for 5 seconds while it's working, but you will get shield for 0.5 seconds. Depending on your playstyle, it may not be very beneficial for you, but it will put your mind at ease when it comes to where the nightmares go once you kill them off. Ascending also has a cooldown of 50 seconds. Now you may be curious about what you're going to do while your abilities are reloading. You will have an additional option called Bonk. Now, Bonk does not deal a lot of damage, but it is very fast. So if you're willing to sit around and hit multiple enemies for 10 seconds until they die, this item might be good for you if you want a bit more of a challenge. Out of our 3 weapons, which would you like to choose? Amazing. I wish you luck. I think you're gonna have so much fun. Now that you have your beginner weapon, let's get you some magical items, shall we? To start with, I have 2 cooldown abilities that you can use. The first one that I have for you to choose from is called the Mysterious Pine Cone. Now, the Mysterious Pine Cone will break into 3 little pine cones if you throw it in any direction and will explode and deal 150 damage. It also has a 30-second cooldown, so this cooldown item can prove to be very useful in battle. For our second magical item, I have here with me the foam paintbrush. The foam paintbrush. Now, this item, as silly as it is, can be pretty dangerous, and I really don't recommend it for beginning players. I'm not sure why the devs put it in here. I think they thought it was funny and just never got rid of it. But I wouldn't suggest you get this item, seriously. It can be very dangerous. The way the foam paintbrush works is you can paint a little interdimensional wormhole into the floor where any enemy that falls into it will end up who knows where, but they won't be there for you to deal with anymore. Although you do have to be careful. If you fall in it, you will lose all of the progress in the game, and you will have to restart from scratch once again. Yeah, it can be a pretty dangerous item. You gotta be really careful once you paint that hole, especially if it's in a dark area, because it will be black, so if you're not looking ahead, you might accidentally fall into it. Yeah, it can be kind of dangerous. Although I will say you can't use this for any bigger enemies. Enemies that are bigger than the hole will not fall into it. So there is our foam paintbrush. Foam paintbrush. Out of the 2 cooldown items I showed you, which would you like to choose? Well, I wish you luck with that. And now, let's get you some magic crystals. There are many crystals that you can get in the game, but these are good for beginners. The crystal mechanics in this game can be fairly interesting. For example, you can merge 2 crystals together and use their abilities at the same time, but their abilities will mutate, and some mutations can be fairly dangerous. Now, I have here with me an amethyst crystal and a rose quartz crystal. The rose quartz crystal, when used, will stun enemies for 1.5 seconds. Additionally, the rose quartz crystal, when used, will stun enemies for 1.5 seconds. Additionally, when you are down to half a bar, the rose quartz crystal will give any visible enemies the poison effect. The other crystal I have here is the amethyst crystal. This crystal will shield you for 3 seconds and give your pet 30% more damage. It is a very good get out alive crystal. Now, if you try to combine these 2 crystals together, you see this menu that pops up? Yeah, that means that the combination of these 2 crystals can be dangerous and can potentially end up harming you. So, when combining crystals, you have to be very, very careful. Now, which crystal do you think tickles your fancy? No, we can't be greedy. You can't have both of them. I already know what you're gonna try and do. Well, which would you like? Amazing. I wish you much luck. Now, let's get you a fuzzy little friend. I have here with me two friends for you to choose from. Fuzzy friends can be very helpful in battle as well as sleep. Sleep is very important in this game. Sleep can be used as a form of healing, currency, and XP farming. Depending on the fuzzy friend that you have, the chances of you getting more sleep will be either raised or lowered. To start with, I have here with me this itty bitty kitty. Itty bitty kitty. They are very, very fluffy, as they are speedy, and they can also do a significant amount of damage. They do have a special ability that they can use every once in a while during battle. For Itty Bitty Kitty here, their special ability is Scratch. Scratch. Scratch can be used to deal 230 damage to any nearby enemies and also has a 40-second cooldown. This is an ability that will be used automatically by your little kitty here. They also have a wide range of colors to choose from, and you can also name them whatever you would like. Although they will be permanently red if they don't like the name that you choose for them. They will be very angry at you. Your pets have feelings too. Their cuddle ability rate is pretty high as well, so you definitely will be getting a lot of sleep with this fluffy friend. Now, if you prioritize damage over sleep, this next little friend I have here might be right up your alley. This little friend is a dragon goat. Now, dragon goats are very aggressive. They do have an ability of fire breathing that they can use. This ability will deal 175 damage to any nearby enemies, while their active attacks still deal a pretty hefty amount of damage. This fuzzy friend though is not very quick on their feet, and their cuddle ability can be not so great. They don't really like hugs that much. But they are very useful in battle. So depending on what you prioritize the most, this pet can be very beneficial to you. Now that I've shown you the two fluffy friends I have available for you, which one would you like to take with you? Ah, wonderful choice. I hope you and your friend get along swell. Well, looks like I got you already. They grow up so fast. I'm just playing with you. Well, it looks like you should be ready to go now. Oh, before you go, let me give you something. Where is it? Ah, here we are. This gift is called the Merchant's Blessing. It's 300 sleep coins. Just to get you started. Yeah, of course. I was more than happy to help you get started. I hope that your adventures go well. You stay safe out there, okay? And if you ever need to buy something, you can look for my merchant stands all over the map. I'll always be there. Welcome to Sleepcore. I hope you have fun. Bye-bye now.